In a world where things almost make sense, and most everything is interesting and mildly unique, it's a place that feels somewhat familiar and has the suspicious comfort of a loving semi-omnipresence. You are on the outskirts of Loutopia. Sit back and relax, or tense up and march around. Please welcome your host of Loutopia, Lou Angel Wolf.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. There we go. This is it's a train wreck beginning.
Hey, Mom.
Loutopia. This thing's sliding all over the place. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Loutopia podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf. I don't even know if we're recording on that or not. Jeez. This is like Spanky and our gang have a radio show.
Don't make fun of the disabled here. We got AI struggling.
Well, there's just me. It's just me. That's all you got there. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Loutopia Podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf, and we will be with you for the next hour. The Loutopia Podcast is about health, humor, and well-being, and many other interesting items. And right to my immediate right, I want to introduce our cast here is Michael Merberg. Mike, good to see you again.
Hi, great to be back.
Yes. And Chris Gorgeous over there on mic number 3. He's our producer.
Hey, what's up? There you are. Now you're live.
And we have a special guest in the studio with us tonight. The Loutopia podcast is about to make an evolutionary turn, and we're going to be expanding our web presence, and we're starting a new website, which I think I'm going to announce next week.
Awesome.
But this is the lady that's doing all the background work and setting it up for us, and just making this a little more interesting. Welcome, Kathy McGuire.
Very happy to be here. Good to see you guys.
Kathy is going to be helping us with the promotions, and not only is she going to build the website and make all this accessible to everybody all the time, Kathy's a talented performer herself. She one of your websites is eventsbykathy.com.
EventsByKathySingsForYou.com.
EventsByKathySingsForYou.com.
Yes.
Okay. And a marvelous singer. She's available for parties and
Weddings,
celebrations.
bar mitzvahs,
Weddings,
your general stuff, yeah. I do singing telegrams, though. That's a lot of fun.
Singing telegrams.
Yes, I do.
Now, that is a
Yes, I
niche
do.
market these days.
Very much so. Very much so.
That is hard to find.
I have a lot of fun stories about that.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
I bet.
Pizza.
Well, anyway.
Pizza?
That's great. So Kathy's going to be sitting in with us for the entire hour, and this is the first hour. This is us, and tonight's show is about taming the ego, which is about our part of our next evolution. I deal with ego all the time, and I do have to say, in the overall scheme of things, I do believe men, anyway, are getting a little gentler. I've not met as many boorish beasts as I used to. Of course, maybe the circles I run in, maybe my friends are just a smidge more genteel
And older.
and older. That's what it is. I've discovered nothing, folks. But
It's called wisdom. There you
is
go.
that what it is?
I thought it was just a lack of testosterone, perhaps.
Ah, you had to go there? Anyway.
In the end, the women become the men, and the men become the women.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. And, because, you know the history of the island of Lesbos? How the evolution of that government took over is the men just folded up.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Spartans. There's only so much you can do having a violent homosexual empire.
As fun as all that sounds, I just don't see the long-term gain there. I don't think there's going to be season 20 champions.
Right, yeah.
But anyway,
Agenda
our
21.
camera is all jacked around here. Looking at all that's Kathy.
No, it isn't. It's not, look, that's as good. You have a cell phone on a little teeny tripod, bro.
Okay.
And again, I don't know if you noticed, there's no CBS logo anywhere in this back room. Did you see a guy flying here with like an outfit with like hooks and like wires and crap on him? No, it's just me.
We got the tripod that thought it could.
Yeah. That's what you get until you go to the 5 and under, 5 and below. That's what you have for a tripod for yourself.
All right. Well, we're going right after the show.
You're going. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna
You
eat
got to
dinner.
go point at the things you need.
No. You can do that online. I can point digitally.
Hey,
and
let's
send you
let
anywhere.
not our egos get in the way.
Ha!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Segway.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to the Loutopia podcast every week on the IRN Broadcast Network. That's irnbroadcast.com. Our buddy Mike Peter over there supplies you with the Loutopia show every week, the Grease Gurus, and he has a whole stable full of fantastic podcasts. That's irnbroadcast.com.
You can check it out right now. We're simulcast right now.
We are. We're simulcasting
Right now.
Right now.
Wow.
Well, I love it when stuff happens in real time.
Whatever that is.
Anyway, we're also on Podomatic, and of course the mothership Loutopia, Loutopia, Loutopia.com, which is the home of the kind of our mellow festo, which is called the Pacifist Riot. If you've not read that, it'll kind of give you a little better idea where we're coming from. I really, truly am a pacifist that gets a little riled up every once in a while.
And
Man.
you're a riot.
Oh, and I'm a riot.
Yeah.
When
Thank you.
have you been riled up? When does that
Well,
happen?
it's internal.
Oh,
It's internal.
well, that's when you itch. Is that when it's
I
happening?
squelch it way down. Yeah. So, but anyway,
Hey, also, before you get rolling, if you're listening on YouTube, hey, comment, say hello, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and do the same on Facebook. We're simulcast right now, Facebook Live, through Lou's cell phone and his little teeny tripod. So like his page, go to Loutopia page, like and subscribe and share and all that good gravy.
well, for as old as my tripod is, it still works all right.
Teeny tripod.
And then the second hour of Loutopia, this magic continues with our friend and personal guru, Beth Snyder. Beth is the CEO of the Om Shop down in Sarasota. It's a metaphysical shop, and she is also the staff hypnotherapist. And Lord knows we all need a tune-up, but that's BethSnyderHypnosis.com. And then the Om Shop, TheOmShoppe, the OmShoppe.com. Beautiful metaphysical shop. I'm sure there's something in there that you need. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I constantly contemplate my ego, what I'm doing out of selfishness, what I'm doing out of self propulsion, and then I also try to tend a little more to what I'm doing for self-preservation, and should I be secure enough in the situation that I could actually project some humility. Humility is a beautiful thing. I really do like to see when somebody, gets level, gets humbled out, maybe has a genuine apology that doesn't turn into a cold cock fist fight. Those are always better. And I think what it is for us to truly be able to gather a level of humility, it's almost something that's done in silence, because it's really nothing you can ask your friends or cohorts or about. You can't go, hey man, have you noticed how humble I've been lately? I mean, it's really hard to get your humble meter checked.
Yeah. It's like my car is worse than your car.
Well, and that's what I'm saying with taming your ego. And we hear that word all the time, and it's basically kind of a Freudian phrase. And Freud came up with the basic psychology of the id, the ego, and then the superego, which apparently is what we're dealing with at this point in our lives, is the superego. The id, of course, I like to explain it a couple different ways. It's the natural thing that motivates you to get what you need. Babies are full of id, okay?
Yeah, it's like Fred Flintstone is an id.
He's very iddish.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, and then Barney Rubble's like the next level up.
Yeah, Barney.
Or the superego, actually.
Barney's at the little ego, the superego.
You're really fucking up there, Fred.
Ralph Crandon, id.
Very iddish.
Yep.
Okay.
Ted Bundy. I mean, not Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Definitely id.
No. They,
Ted Bundy, extremely iddish.
Al Bundy. Al Bundy. Al Bundy.
Yeah, a next level up, yeah.
Homer Simpson, id.
Yeah, all iddish characters.
Okay, got it.
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay.
The total range of sloth.
And well, like the way I've described id in the past is you can easily explain it with a motorcycle. Id is going, okay, I can ride a Honda 450 and get where I'm going. I'll get 60 miles to the gallon, and it's a very, very dependable machine. That's your id. You're on a motorcycle going from place to place. The superego, we'll jump all the way to the superego, is the $35,000 chromed out Harley Davidson with custom pipes and flamethrowers, because you got to show up. You just don't have to go to point A to point B. You got to show up, man. People got to know that your wheels are on the ground near them. So somewhere in the middle, I think there's happiness. And I rode motorcycles for many, many years. Of all, I had Harley Davidsons, and I thought they were the coolest. And I had some Hondas that, the whole time I'm riding this Honda, I had a V65 Sabre, which is a 110 horsepower water-cooled V4 with a shaft drive and a 6-speed. And the thing was absolute sure-footed. It was a bike that just hugged the ground and stayed there. The shaft drive, nearly vibration-free. A bike that was a tenth of the price of the Harleys, right? And I'm riding this thing down the road going, man, this thing is superior in every way to that big vibrating thing I'm riding to so I can go ride again, But the Harley thing, it's got its mystique. It's got its, they're cool machines. There ain't no two ways about it. But I don't know if you saw on the news today, to see where Trump is telling Harley Davidson, if you send one more plant overseas, you're going to get tariffed.
Oh, the whole thing's a mess.
Should he be doing that? Telling private business what to do?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Who do you think he is?
The president?
He's the CEO of America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody thinks there's any more royalty to it than that, they're mistaken. He's the CEO of America. But
what about his ego? What do you think?
Oh,
is
dude!
He id?
Wow,
is he id?
That's that. No, he is the intensified version of all three.
He's always.
He is a super id, a super ego, and a super ego.
I think all politicians fall pretty much. They may hide some of it, but in reality, behind closed doors, I think they're all a little bit about that.
Oh, sure.
I mean, absolutely. Just some of them are more public. Some of them have a Twitter account,
like Andrew Weiner.
I think there are some politicians I really do think, even on the local level, but at national level as well, that actually get into politics to try to make some change and do some things. But when you throw money into the mix, it bumps up your ego, doesn't it?
And I think
Mike,
what you're talking about are there to
money plus ego.
I break it down really simply.
Okay.
Ego in Latin is I. I mean, that's what it is. It's I. And that's on one side of the scale. And on the other side of the scale from that, diametrically opposed, is the whole concept and experience of oneness. So the closer you get to ego, the less you are experiencing oneness. And the closer you get to oneness, the less you are experiencing ego. The problem is with most politicians, you put in psychopath in the mix, and it kind of makes things a little dangerous.
Yeah. Well, but as far as you're right, Kathy, as far as politicians go. And what I've noticed, if you look at the background and the way these guys come to be, generally come out of the law portion. They're usually overzealous attorneys. Attorneys that go, instead of trying to schmooze the guy, I'll be the guy that gets schmoozed. So they start out on a local level, mayors, commissioners, and then they make it to some kind of state thing, and then they, if you hit the big stage.
Or else you get born into Florida with blonde hair, blue eyes, and just absolute stunning beauty, and then you become,
a fair pageant girl?
No. Who's the one? She just got assaulted. The Pam Biondi.
Pam
Attorney
Biondi.
General.
Yeah, the
Attorney General.
Attorney General of the state of Florida.
She's the big attorney.
Yeah, right. And, but I mean that's a shortcut.
Yeah, well, either that or you're born into it like a bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born into a bush.
I'm born into the bush.
So in regards to what Chris was saying, I do agree there are some politicians that are there to serve, which is what it's supposed to be about.
Well, that's the
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
That's-
And there are some like that.
But then I think, sorry to cut you off, Lou, but then I think once they get there, they realize that money really drives the game.
Yeah.
And if they want to play in the game, they got to get in with the money, and then it becomes like a vicious cycle. I really believe that.
But you literally have guys realizing that at the trailer park HOA leader level.
Absolutely.
You really
Absolutely.
you really have
the
men
deed restricted community meetings where they're like,
Yes.
Get off
your
my lawn.
damn bushes, they're 6 inches. We said 5 inches.
and they walk away mumbling, he thinks he's going to keep those bushes like that. I'm telling you, dude, it's
Wait till
sick.
and wait till I talk to him about where he keeps his trash cans. Oh, and then
Or what about
Unbelievable.
you painted your house the wrong color?
Oh, yeah.
It's not approved.
The wrong beige.
The wrong
Yes,
color
exactly.
white. Sorry, eggshell will not work around here.
No pink houses here. I don't
when
care
in-
what John Cougar Mellencamp says.
When in doubt, paint everything eggshell white. But anyway, well, you're never wrong. Well, it's white. It's eggshell white. No, it's even nicer. But that's what I'm saying. That's where ego comes to play. I mean, when you're talking about politicians, you're talking about, supercharged egos and guys and women that are willing to, lay it all out there. But I think at an earlier and earlier, they do realize that there's a point where they sell out. There's a point where they're utopian. I'll help these people. I'll build homeless shelters. I'll get everybody fed. I'll put heaters on the outside of the house so nobody's even cold in winter. They have all these wonderful utopian ideas, but once they get in there and they see the absolute quagmire of bullshit, all the people that they got to grease and move and schmooze and eliminate and divide, and the effort is huge. There is a snare every couple of feet,
and it's expensive.
and it's very expensive. And at that level, unless you come with full pockets, and
Right.
many do,
Yeah.
unless you come with full pockets, you're going to get your ideals will be eliminated.
Or you're backed by somebody who has ideals that they want to use you to promote.
Well, and that's what the whole thing is about. Be it good, be it bad,
Exactly.
be it indifferent.
Exactly.
And that's, but that's eventually isn't that how tribes are? I mean, this is just our.
That's the way it was in northern New Jersey where I grew up.
I think you discover your identity either personally or as a tribe, and then you defend it. That's what you do.
Yeah. I agree with you. Now, I think as a young person, they say 0 to 3, you're almost all id. You're just like, I poop my pants. Will somebody take care of this? I'm a little hungry, so I'm going to scream until the taller person brings me something.
You're also describing like the old age home.
I know.
Dude,
It is
All
it is a
my
weird
life
circle, man.
It's like you
Circles.
start off and it's kind of unfortunately it's kind of the same.
Yep.
I mean,
Change my
I'm not
diapers.
trying to laugh about it because I've been a caregiver, but it is.
Yeah.
It is basically, and because they can't, because they're in a position where they can't walk around. You're a taller person, too,
Oh,
even if you
dude.
weren't taller before. So it's very
Yeah, absolutely. Get in here and wash my nuts.
nuts.
But I,
As my patient said, it's shitting time. He had no qualms about saying that.
Chris does that. Chris does home health care. Or no. Yeah, it's home health care for veterans.
Yep.
Dude, that just really displays the big-heartedness of you. I know they pay you.
Yeah, I was going to say they pay me.
But hey, dude, there's other stuff you could do
That's true.
for
absolutely.
similar amounts of money.
There are other things that I have done.
Yes.
And at this point, I'd like to go back to. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's like, right.
No, it's a
Fuck
good.
yeah.
It's
Let's get
it's
outta
a little
here.
stressful and sometimes, but I'll say this about being a caregiver in any capacity that you get to stare your mortality in your face every day.
Yeah.
So, and it really teaches you to be. You know what? Today's okay.
Yeah,
It could be a lot worse.
Absolutely.
Chris, will you make sure the Facebook is on? I just had an incoming call. I don't know if we're back on the air with Facebook.
When they fired us.
Is it?
Yeah, you seem to be live.
Okay. My son calls me every. How long have I had the show, Isaac?
Oh wait, it didn't go live. He cut you off, dude.
Thanks.
Stage fright in
The one
the
guy
second
that's got my
generation.
back.
It's like, you're sad. Does he not look at the
Can you
clock
turn it
and
back
go,
on?
Not from here. You can turn back on.
It's like,
Well,
it's
I don't
like,
know
hey,
how-
son,
I
I'm
can't
on the
reach
air
it,
right
though.
now. Could you maybe call me? And he called you. I mean, it's a good thing. Your son called you.
Right. Oh,
But every Tuesday you have a show.
yeah, for the last 3 years.
No, there's historical evidence now that the call happened, so you can't.
Oh, that was nice.
I called you, Dad.
Yeah, it has a. Let's see if we can do this.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, there you
A
go.
full shot there.
All
Right.
Yeah,
That's a much better.
yeah. We it's got a little
quadruple
resume
chin
button,
shot.
so there you go. Look at
All
that.
right. Oh, it's got a resume?
Yeah.
That is some cool stuff.
Say hello to everybody. You got Valerie
Hey,
Day.
welcome back. Sorry for the hiccup.
Say
about-
hello, Johnny Sadler.
Johnny Sadler. Oh, Darlene's there. Yes, Darlene, the baby catcher. We love her.
What?
She's a midwife.
Oh, the baby catcher.
She's Darlene, the baby
I
catcher.
thought she was the wife of that dude from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. What the hell? Valerie Day is giving you a
Dude,
thumbs up.
that is the
Baby
vaguest
snatcher.
reference I've heard in months.
Or somebody on the inside of the wall.
Johnny says, "Lou, you're Batman."
Nice, very good.
All right, what are we talking
All
about?
right, we are back to the ego.
I have one more comment about politicians.
Please,
Okay,
please.
two of my favorite movies, and you may agree or not agree, but it really displays the whole ego and the whole thing. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Yes, absolutely.
And, of course, Eddie Murphy's Distinguished Gentleman.
You know, I never saw that.
Oh, my gosh.
It's
you
the
should-
same movie, though.
It's basically a modern-day version of Mr.
That's
Smith
why I
Goes
didn't
to
watch it.
Washington. But it's actually really good. No, it's actually really good. It's actually really
I'm sure
good.
it is.
So,
Eddie Murphy's cool, even though
and
he's
it takes place. He plays a Florida politician, so that's why it's cool. So,
yeah. Well,
You know how many black Florida politicians there are at
Yeah,
a
exactly.
yes,
national level.
both of them.
8.
Yeah, right. That's sad.
But
Very sad.
anyway, so what we're doing, folks, we're talking about our ego and taming your ego because watching false bravado. For one, those of us who've seen a couple sunsets, we notice it right away. And me, I mean, I'll let you say your piece, but chances are I'm going to see through your charade or charade. And that's when you start protecting yourself. That's when you go, okay, this is a situation, and this guy is full of shit. But and I think what it is you get older, Michael. I know you nailed it right on the head. As you get older, you do hang around mellower and mellower people.
Yeah. I mean, the prison population is exemplary of that.
Yeah.
They don't go back after like 48, 49. I mean, it just gets too dull.
Yeah. Now I know guys that have done like long term there, and I got a friend of mine. After a few Jack Daniels, he'll go. It really wasn't that bad of a life.
Yeah, TV.
At TV, I knew where I was going. I didn't have to worry about nothing, and I'm going. Well, there's that.
the ultimate prison. Like enjoying it.
Yeah, you know, but but you got to look at that though. I mean, a guy that's enjoying his incarceration. Talk about
in a cot.
It's them bare necessities, them simple bare necessities.
Wow.
And I would hope if I was ever incarcerated, which I wouldn't be, because I don't do anything wrong.
You'd write Mein Kampf.
Oh my God.
But I guess I would learn to accept it as best you can, or you drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you know, prison walls imagined are no less solid steel.
Yeah.
You know?
It all sucks.
So, I mean, there's a lot of people that live in the business that I'm my day job. You know, I'm in sales, and I literally do meet people that are imprisoned in their home by pets and dependents.
Yeah, they're dementia husbands.
And yeah, I mean, it's people get themselves in some tricky situations, and not that I'm there to set them free, but I was there to meet them and encounter their energy, and I'll send some healing back to them, which is the decent thing to do. You know, even if it's a simple prayer that you say by yourself, you don't necessarily even have to tell anybody about it. You can just, you know, if you see their pain, there's sometimes they look me right in the eye and they're hurting, man, you know, and I'm trying to help them out with the products that I sell, and they, you know, it's really amazing to see and to talk to somebody that's, you know, a little bit together, you know, because their world is full of people that are, you know, ailing. You know, they usually have an ailing one person that's very sick, and then somehow, for a particular reason, there's other people in the family that need to help him be sick. So they come around with their ailments. And
I'm in that same situation, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
not me personally, but I take care of a guy that's at home. His wife's there, and then their daughter has moved in and refuses to leave, and she's like massively overweight, and it's awful.
Yeah, it's like
that poor woman. The woman, his wife, trapped.
Yeah, she's got quite a burden to bear there.
When she gets out of the house, she leaves like a little smoke out ring of her body. That's how she's gone, man. She's like, all right, I'll be back. Bye. Poor lady.
I can't blame her. You know, like Iron Maiden says, I'd run for the hills. I'd run for my life. But, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Loutopia podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf, on the air with Michael Merberg, Chris Gorgeous, and our special guest this week is Kathy McGuire. You're listening to us live on irnbroadcast.com, YouTube, the Loutopia page, and Podomatic. And there's one more.
Facebook.
Well, I knew that one. I was coming around the big circle there.
Oh.
But the last couple of weeks, we've been going on Facebook Live, and hey, this is fun. And I've really been getting some nice response, and people are kind of, you know, picking it up. And we've been doing this for 3 years or so. We have 150 Loutopias, and now, but you know what? That's perfect. It happened just as it was supposed to happen. And like I said, we got some new changes coming up. I'll be announcing in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to expand all this. We're going to make the base a little stronger for us all to stand on and display the talents of all these wonderful people that I'm absolutely blessed to be around. At home, I got Pamela, who takes wonderful care of me and loves me, and I love her back, and sweet gal, and just an absolute blessing. And I have friends upon friends, and beautiful friends, and sweet friends, and kind friends, and it's the blessings that I hold. I mean, they spill out of my arms if I try to count them. So thank you very much for everything, folks. Thank you, all my Facebook friends. It's kind of interesting right now. I'm getting ready for my 40th. That's 40. High school reunion.
Yeah, people are asking if you're going.
Of course I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going and I'm performing.
There's your answer, Facebook people.
And I'm going to do my nightclub show. I think the last time I did it, I kept it like PG-13 or something. I think I'm going to let it rip a little bit this time.
You got to find a powder blue tux, though.
Yes, the powder blue. Yes, the with a velour collar,
And a little ruffled shirt.
Oh yeah.
The ruffled shirt.
Oh, I got to get that.
You gonna go to the reunion riding Wildfire? What? Powder blue?
A powder blue leisure suit tux.
He's a little young for that, you know?
No, he's right there.
I know
he
it,
remembers.
Lou will roll up with some desert boots with his powdered blue
Chukka
tux.
boots on, dark blue Levi's.
Cowboy hat.
Wildfire. We got a break because Beth's coming in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little break. Listen in on IRN. Thanks, Facebook, everybody. We'll be right back. What are you going to do in the middle while we wait for Beth?
I'll play some music for the YouTube people, and we'll just pause the Facebook thing and then come back on Facebook.
Okay,
so
we'll
pause it, and then we'll resume it.
And we'll be right back. I hope I don't lose any people.
Well, you may.
Don't get bored.
You don't have to take a break. We can go through, but we're going to do it now. We'll do it now.
Okay. All right. Well, right now.
Yep, bye.
2 minutes.
Yep.
almost makes sense. And most everything is interesting and mildly unique. It's a place that feels somewhat familiar and has the suspicious comfort of a loving semi-omnipresence. You are on the outskirts of Loutopia. Sit back and relax, or tense up and march around. Please welcome your host of Loutopia, Lou Angel Wolf.
Hey, welcome back for the second half of Loutopia, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lou Angel Wolf, and we are going live on YouTube. And no, we're live on YouTube, of course, and then we're also live on Facebook. So why don't we go ahead and put it back over there where it was, and I think that's the best part. Hey, we got everything on the show, folks. This is Loutopia Podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf, Michael Merberg, Chris Gorgeous, and our special guest, Kathy McGuire, in talking with us this week about taming the ego. And we've talked a lot about it. I don't have necessarily have figured out a way to do it. But we'll talk about that with our next guest, who's not our next guest, our next host. It's the portion of the show I promised you about. Welcome home again, Beth Snyder.
Well, hello. It's just me, myself, and my ego here. How are you tonight?
A little crowded in there, is it?
It can be. And my super ego and my id. Oh, my God. There's so much rolling around.
Well, Beth, we sure appreciate everything you do for us here at the Loutopia Podcast, and we love having you aboard. You add such a lovely, legitimate flow to this whole thing. And anybody that is looking for any hypnotherapy help, BethSnyderHypnosis.com. Get in touch with her online. She'll get in touch with you live, and then we'll go from there. Hey, could you put... Oh, shit. Okay. I just spilled something.
What's going on over there?
And, yeah, could you put a coaster underneath that speaker? Because it's shaking the table. I don't know if it changes anything else. That sounds better. And we got the emergency thing. All right. Even we have spills on live radio, folks. I am no more coordinated than I was in high school. For those of you, thank you, Chris, with your small look of disdain.
It looks like Sprite. I don't think it's stained at all.
I'm not worried about the table. I'm just like, what the hell's going on over there? Like, you don't know what's going on.
That Lou's a spiller. Maybe I panicked too much because you're not supposed to have drinks in the studio.
At least you've graduated from the straw, okay? You know.
Yeah.
We should just do an hour where we just keep having accidents. Then Chris should like trip and fall, and
yeah, just a whole
Mike
hour
should fall off his stool.
A whole hour of pratfalls.
Yeah, on the radio.
We'll be Dick Van Dyke over and over again.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But well, Beth, tonight's topic is we're learning how to tame the ego, and I find it gets easier to do as you get older, and but for those who are looking to move up quicker, are there any like tricks or ideas that that you can do to get yourself dialed in faster? Is there any of that going on?
Well, I think first of all, recognizing and beginning to understand what the ego is and what is it about it that you'd like to be different. So normally, people that run in an egotistical way are not actually aware that they're doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. They think that all is well in their world. So yeah, it's just about kind of identifying where you are in your life and where you want to be, and it may require that you do some ego work as far as letting go of maybe some expectations of yourself or others, or letting go of a sense of needing to be perfect or needing recognition or whatever it may be. The ego is not a bad thing.
No.
It serves us it serves us well in a lot of ways.
It keeps us alive.
But it can be cumbersome.
Yes.
And it can keep us from joy and happiness and experiencing, our greatest freedom if it runs amok and unchecked.
I find that in today's society that we silver ponytail people, we look at in disdain sometimes. But one thing I noticed about our society is with the constant video surveillance, those displaying brash and super egotistical behaviors are often exploited and left to watch themselves on YouTube. There's just everybody's got a phone now. Everybody's got a camera now. So if you're going into some egotistical tirade, chances are somebody's going to turn their camera on. And then you get to watch yourself that night on Facebook via YouTube or YouTube via Facebook, whatever. Somebody saw it. And then before you know it, 2 million people saw you. And now you're going, man, I really need a reality check here.
Who was that gorilla that died this past week?
Coco?
Coco, yeah. Coco could talk in sign language,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what the last word he said was before he died?
No. He gave the finger. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
More of our pratfall comedy hour. We're going to do all physical humor for the rest of the show, folks. We're having Gallagher on next. Get ready.
get out your Visqueen.
And your rain suit.
Well, yeah, Coco left and gave everybody the one finger salute and said, "Evolve on this."
Yeah, he was like a well beyond ego.
Yeah, he was an older guy in the monkey world, and he was a silverback?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I know that he was an awesome. Was he a silverback gorilla?
Oh, yeah.
And
there's a beautiful video there of him with Robin Williams. Robin Williams went and spent some time with Coco and had a beautiful conversation. It's worth the YouTube Google.
Yeah, I saw it a couple of years ago. It's very cool. It's very heart touching and yeah,
kind of McFeely.
It is McFeely. It's McFeely good. Hey, my Facebook people, if you're listening, thank you and love you. Whoever just sent me a heart. Can you tell us how the sound is? How's the sound? Can you hear?
No, don't do that. Do not do that.
Don't do that?
Don't have the general public comment on the sound on an audio podcast being broadcast through a phone, please.
I
already got Daniel Miller. You need to fire Chris. Daniel, I want you to see something for a second.
Fire Chris?
Yeah, no, hold on.
That'll never happen.
Chris, he's all we got.
Yeah, Daniel, this is a screenshot of the screen that I'm actually working right now. I've got Audacity going. I've got Wirecast going. I've got Skype up. I've also got iTunes, and I've got both the YouTube page and the Facebook, all right? So fire yourself, Daniel.
and he runs volume.
Now, what Chris has done for us is an example of the ego.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
It's
He's demonstrating for us.
I think you just turned it off or something.
No, I don't think so. There it is. No, it's right there.
Oh, it is? Okay. Oh, they're watching you now.
Yeah, it's YouTube. You get what you pay for.
All right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's good.
Thank you, Daniel, for watching.
Yeah. But I will tell you, and I'm an absolute fledgling about this. I really concede that I don't know anything about this stuff.
Well, and that's fine, but we just need to, if you're going to do Facebook Live, we'll get a better way to broadcast it through your phone, and we'll get a tripod. It's not a big deal.
Like I said last week.
It's not a big deal.
Take me to the store, point at the things you need, and I'll buy them.
Dude, we'll buy all of the Best Buy.
Okay.
I'll leave there with a drone, and I'll justify its use on the show.
Well, you were talking earlier about guys from the ceiling at CBS, so you could use the drone maybe and do some overhead shots.
I like the way you think.
I know. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting.
Yep, one with 6 cameras. I need a drone with 6 cameras. What are we talking about? Oh, ego. That's it.
Ego. Yeah, the ego.
Yeah,
how to tame the ego.
A guy with his ego in check would only need a drone with 4 cameras.
Right.
But anyway.
Surprised he didn't go over 8.
I need the fly eye drone is what I need. I need a 1,000 little lenses looking everywhere.
Have you seen those assassin drones yet?
Assassin drones.
Yeah, they got these little drones.
Oh, Lord.
They can fly into buildings and right on your forehead, and you're out. You're gone.
I saw them
shoot
as a
on
bad.
impact.
I saw them as a CGI horror thing, but they're real now.
Yeah, they're real now.
Oh, why'd they do that?
Mm,
I hate
yeah,
that.
it's
Why the violence in the world?
All of a sudden, I'm from Wisconsin. I hate that. I just hate it.
want some cheese.
Oh gosh. You know, Kippy's bringing home some curds, and we'll have some curds, and I'll feel better if I'm all clogged up with cheese.
Where's the bubbler around here?
Jesus.
Oh, we're gonna have some ginger ale and some curds.
Oh,
You know they got a Culver's here. You know.
Yes, I know.
Oh, I like the. Sometimes they even have the whiting. They
Do
have.
they really?
They have the whiting. They bring it. They bring it down. The walleye. They bring the walleye
Walleye.
All
down.
right, you got somebody on the phone, and you have a guest in the studio. Let's move along. Come on.
oh, okay.
Let's move
Oh.
on. Nothing more to see here.
He's the producer. He's the referee. He keeps it moving.
Nothing more to see here. Move along.
Chris Gorgeous. But now, Chris, you were dealing with a super ego this weekend.
Was I? Oh,
Chris
yeah.
did a comedy show over in Sanford and had a heckler, which to me, the whole heckler psychology is a little strange. I don't know why people want to do that.
I do.
Do you?
Yep.
Share with us.
Alcohol.
Well, that's one. Yes, the alcohol. Alcohol is not the reason; it's the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. The reason is I don't get a lot of attention. I need some attention. That's. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
that's. I feel that's organically. That's what I feel when it's happening.
Okay.
Right,
It's a
Beth?
call for love.
Is it?
It is a call
wanna-
for love.
It is a call for love. I want to be as funny as that guy, or I want to be funnier than that guy, or why does he get all the attention and I don't?
Why are they so dickish about it? Why can't they just
Because
ask for?
once they realize, once they open their mouth, once they don't hold their tongue, then they realize they're in too deep, and so they immediately get defensive because there's just no way they're going to be able to win typically.
They don't, and you know what it is? They don't know how the game is played. So
No, they don't. They
And-
go in ill prepared.
yes, it's a novice attempt at best, maybe a beginner's first shot at participating in a comedy show. And one of my little favorite heckler lines is, hey, you missed auditions, you sit out. So that's always a good one.
My favorite heckler line now is "Shut up,
Really?
stop talking." It's gotten to that point,
You
dude.
edited it that far?
This guy got to that point where I tried all of the techniques that comics know to use on hecklers, trying to.
Sometimes that's all they're looking for.
What's that?
They just want that string of heckler lines.
Well, I know, and listen, there are other people that I apologize after the show, and they were like, "No, we like the drama." And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's not really why I'm here to argue with
The
somebody."
show didn't
Yeah.
go the way you thought.
Right, and I don't mind arguing. I'm very good at it. I enjoy it on some level, but when
Lord
you're,
knows you've proven it here.
Really?
Well,
I didn't
whatever.
realize that.
maybe I just open up your eyes a little bit, Lucif. And but also I feel like I feel like if they want to talk, that's fine. I don't. It's hard when you're sober to have a conversation like that with an intoxicated.
Well,
person.
here's
that's really the offset.
Well, I get it. I get the exchange. But like I said, sometimes, especially in a bar setting, the people want to hear those slams. They want to hear that, geez, 10 million sperm in a load and you were the fastest swimmer. They want to hear all that stuff.
Hamburger flipping. Yes.
Why are you being so mean to me? You were so nice to me in the men's room. They want to hear all that stuff. But
Where's your rim shots, Chris? We need rim shots.
Yeah.
I don't have those. We're on Facebook. I have no capacity to do rim shots.
he has no hands left. He's the octopus controller.
I saw the rim shot, but I did not verbalize the rim shot.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Where's Michael Winslow when you need him?
doing a bonkers gig. That's where he's at. That's every time I see him advertised at Bonkers, I just go, "Oh, you poor guy."
Gosh, you were there.
Well, he's a really nice man. He's a very nice man. I've met him a couple times. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Loutopia podcast. We're talking about taming the ego, and I find the more control you have over yourself, you'll notice little things about yourself, and you'll say, in hindsight being 2020, that situation came at me. I did all right with it, and now I've moved on. And that makes me pretty happy when I can get on the other side, and I went through a situation without a whole lot of grief or regret on the other side. And apparently, like Michael said in the beginning of the show, this is something that comes with wisdom, something that comes with age. Because I look back on situations and things that happened in my life, and people and business deals and relationships and friendships and this and that and the other thing. And I think back, and if I would have faced those things with this brain, I'd have been a lot better off. But I used my young man brain, which was still full of Smokey and the Bandit and all that shit. So
we're always in a place of, I think, evolution and growing, and hopefully we want that for ourselves. If you're looking around at your life and you can't keep friends, you can't keep relationships, you can't keep jobs, there's a point, and as you say in your act, maybe it's not them. And so, it's a time to start, kind of turning inward and thinking, am I comparing myself to others? Am I expecting something, myself to be something that I'm not? Am I, not counting my blessings? Is there no gratitude in my life?
Yeah.
Is it always what I don't have and not what I do have? There's things that you can do. Definitely, ways that you can start to begin to create change for yourself. But I think the most important thing is just determining, that you just don't want to live the way that you're living anymore.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, ego work is going to come into that. If you're labeling yourself, if you're labeling others, if you're not seeing the divinity in the world,
yes.
If you're trying to be better than others, if you're not seeing, if you're not feeling equal to all, these are the trappings of the ego.
You're exactly right. And what happens, like you said before, is the ego tries to be, and then it swells out of proportion, and then it gets, and also, too, it's not all our fault. I'll tell you that, because there are times and there are people that, say they make an egotistical surge into the mainstream media. And they get people going, hey, I kind of agree with you, or I like what's happening here. And then they pump their egos full of adoration. And so after a while, you start believing your own press. And I've seen it time and time again, especially with comedians and musicians. And, I've seen people take themselves way too seriously and way too divinely, and it's funny. I hear them say it, and it kind of stings a little bit because I know that stuff is going to backfire on them. A classic example of a redirection of ego was Lisa Lampanelli. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a comedian. She's an insult comic. That's what she bills herself as. And the big thing with that was she was billing herself as the female Don Rickles, because she was all about insults, all about hacks, just murdering people from the stage. And she was very good at it. She was a national touring headliner. And then one day she met Don Rickles. And Don Rickles said, "Who do you think you are calling yourself the female Don Rickles? There's only one person on this planet that could call you the female Don Rickles, and that's me. And you don't have my permission to do that." So it was like, that Pac-Man was game over. And consequently, it had to crush her, I felt when I heard the story, I had like that little empty feeling in your stomach, like when you go over a bump too fast. Yeah. And I went, oh, God. But if you look what it did, it created a lot of change in her. She lost like 100 pounds, which I'm sure improved her health. But I'll also be honest with you, too, it redirected her act. And it kind of, shot the pony.
Well, does she like?
Yeah, she for sure. She lost me with the fur material.
Did she like morph into Kathy Griffiths or something? I don't know. I haven't seen her in a while.
No, she just was rough. The anger was there still, but the humor wasn't quite there. She just felt she kind of lost direction, I think, because she had identified as someone else.
Right.
So her ego had compared itself to someone else. This is a perfect example, and kind of created a persona. So when she had to be just her. Her act lost a lot. I had been a fan of hers and had seen her live a couple of times.
Well, I think,
and she.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think what that took away was she was identifiable. If she was the female Don Rickles, you knew exactly what you were going to see.
Well,
okay?
she could have pulled down and mooned everybody and said, "You see."
She also could have kept with what her moniker originally was just an insult comic. I mean, she could have went with that.
Right, but
I don't really feel like she's the same as Don Rickles. Don Rickles just has they're both insult comics, but his tone is different altogether, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I've seen not Don.
Well, there was a kindness. There was still a kindness in him. There was still a tongue in cheek with him.
Right.
No matter how cruel he got, there was still a wink, and there was love in it. And I think with her, it just got mean.
Yeah, and
that's why she was called the Queen of Mean. That was her moniker as well.
Yeah,
I don't know why she started attaching herself to Don Rickles.
And I'm going to tell you, I think that horse ran its race. That because I recently saw.
You haven't seen my show lately.
last year I went to see. I love you, Beth. Last year I went to see Dice Clay at the Capitol Theater in Clearwater, and I got to tell you, man, that it didn't. I mean, it was a skeleton of what it used to be. I mean, he was okay, but that hype, it's cats in the bag, bags in the river. This is not a situation we're going to be talking about. I think the same thing happens to people. Is the Queen of Mean was trying to perpetuate meanness in a society that's turning more and more towards love, and
I agree.
And I'm not saying what's going on in the political world, because you don't even know what's going on in the political world because it's being reported to you from 17 different angles
that are owned by the political world.
World. So,
exactly.
Daniel Miller.
Here's what we'd like you to think is going on in the political world. Yeah. Coming to you from the political world. Underwritten by the political world.
Yeah, Dan Miller says, Dice Man, another has-been.
Lisa isn't funny at all. Who is this Daniel?
Comedian formerly known as Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, and there's Ryan Ware, who's a friend of mine on Facebook. I don't know the guy personally, but he seems funny. And I wish my eyes
a high compliment.
Oh, and there's Johnny Sadler. Johnny Sadler is if my Facebook page ever caught on fire, it would be Johnny Sadler calling me to tell me that it was on fire. He's
like your Civil Air Patrol for your Facebook page.
He's my Stuart Pumpkin. And I love him. He's a great guy. He comes out to my shows, and he looks like Greg Allman, and he posts stuff every day. He cracks me up. His brother is Damon Sadler. Do you know Damon? Do you remember him? Comic Damon Sadler.
I remember that name.
Yeah, well, he was around. Yeah, back Beth when we were all knocking around. Yeah, he was on tour then. Up there goes the camera. Tech person, someone, help me. God, I'm so bad at this. I just can't reach it. That's what it is.
I would definitely see some tripod shopping in your near future.
Yeah, let's go after the show.
Yeah,
because this is tormenting me. It really is.
Yeah, but you have to get a tripod that you can put a cell phone on.
Oh, you need some
because I've got a plethora of
Chris's
tripods.
hand.
I like how you guys. Let's go get a tripod. It's got to be a tripod.
I've got
for
4 tripods at my house.
Yeah, but are they for cell phones?
Yeah,
don't bring some
Michael,
normal tripod.
I don't think we got the desired shot there. Yeah, did it turn it around?
Yeah, it turned it around.
What do you think of that, Daniel?
Fucked it up.
What do you think, Daniel? Now we got a shot of a tripod leg. Yep, we're down
Can
to
you
one
spin the
viewer.
camera around?
We're down to one viewer, but it's
Down to
Daniel.
one viewer.
Oh, jeez.
They're falling like flies.
No, it's because Lou's got a cell phone that
There we
like
go.
if you touch the side of it, it has functions on the sides.
Oh.
So when you just touch the side, it's like, oh, now I'm going to go into hibernation mode. Oh, okay, what a great place for that button.
Yeah, well, it's one of the...
It's the
remember my son? Remember my son that called in the first half of the show and knocked us off?
Yeah,
It's the phone he picked out for
you
me.
need to get a burner phone like on Breaking Bad, bro.
I love
your
those.
Facebook.
It's so cool. These guys flip them open. What?
Get a burner. No, not a flip phone, dude. A burner phone, a throwaway phone.
Dude, the ones on Breaking Bad were...
No, you know what?
they
I
were
take it back.
flips.
I take it back. You need a jitterbug. That's what you need.
You know what? This is your grandfather's social media.
Help.
Jitterbug.
Kathy liked that one. Is that the one you get with your AARP membership?
Yeah, and
That's
your,
nice.
and your AOL disc.
Welcome to the AARP podcast.
It's rotary
For all you
dial.
AOL users, yeah, exactly.
It's rotary dial.
Your art podcast. The tagline is what? That's the tagline.
What's going on over there?
Huh?
How do you work this thing?
What? All right, you got to wrap it up, brother.
Are we almost done?
You're at an hour. You can go as long as dude. You can go for 6 hours. I don't think Facebook's going to support that. But
I want to say one more thing real quick then.
all right, let me
ahead.
flip your thing on. Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
wait a second.
Okay.
I get her. Okay, there you go for it, Kathy.
Okay, to me, ego means edging God out.
Edging God out.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, sure.
I like every good orgasm, actually.
Okay, that one's good too. That one's good too.
They're all there. They're all there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, wow, that was another fast hour in our lives.
Goes by quick, dude.
It really does.
Say goodbye to everybody on
Especially-
Facebook.
Hey, thanks to everybody on Facebook
Goodbye,
for
guy.
listening in.
Goodbye, one guy.
Love you.
Yeah, he's down to one. That's right. 2.
Well, we started out strong. We had 70-something looks or likes or I don't know what the heck it is.
Look, we'll get it figured out. We'll get all the tech figured out. If you want to see the show unimpeded, go to YouTube. The rebroadcast is on YouTube. It's going fine on YouTube with graphics and everything. Daniel, okay?
Or just come by Chris's house.
Yeah.
But bring chicken.
Yeah.
If you could bring the chicken, that would be great.
And something to defend yourself with, other than a chicken.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have some big news in the next week or so about the Loutopia podcast. We're broadening the base. We're going to change a couple happy things, and I thank you so much for all your encouragement, everyone out there. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy McGuire, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was fun. I had a lot of fun.
We got a lot of work to do, so we're going to get to it. Michael, always good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. If you need to get a hold of me for CE5 or anything else, M. Merberg at disabilityattorney.net. So, that's where you can find me, and have a good week.
Everybody that's interested in the CE5, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is human-initiated extraterrestrial contact, if that sounds like something that you know about or want to know more about, that's M. Merberg, MURBURG, at disabilityattorney.net.
On your screen on YouTube. Right
It's
there
on
the
your screen right there. See it right
Chris.
there?
On YouTube. Yep.
And Chris, good to see you again, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Oh, we lost.
Are you? Did
No, we're
Beth
good.
hang up?
No, we're good.
Okay. Beth, are you there, baby?
I am, and just my final words to any ego that's still listening out there: you are loved, you are enough, and you are perfect, whole, and complete, just as you are, and you always have been.
Oh, I love it when you tell us that.
I like it.
And you're not Al Franken.
Beth,
Stop
we love
edging
you,
God
honey.
out,
We
would
love
you?
you so much. And everybody, thank you so much for listening in to the Loutopia podcast. You are wonderful, and you're the reason we do this. We're trying to share the love in our hearts. Read The Pacifist Riot. It's on Loutopia.com. Thank you, everybody at IRN, and be cool. See you next week.